to all the scholars and colleagues and the audience, and especially the young students who have come to listen. Thank you. So, my assigned topic, Samaveda as the basis of Indian music, actually it raises a question. So I would like to add a question mark. Is Samaveda the basis of Indian music? Because there's a widespread idea that especially Carnatic music was influenced by Samaveda, and of course there are many similarities. And it makes sense because Samaveda means Sama, melody, and Veda means knowledge, so knowledge of melody. And yet, major authorities, Indologists, V. Raghavan, the teacher of Stal, Wayne Howard, great musicologist of Samaveda, they dispute this. In fact, they say no, Samaveda itself is not, strictly speaking, the basis of Carnatic music. They say it's more complicated. So we should explore this question. And I will also say that contemporary practitioners of Samaveda, the Samaveda Pandits of the Nambudiri tradition and of the Tamil tradition also dispute this. Because when I ask them, is Samaveda Sangeetam? They say, Sangeetam illa, Vedaman. Yeah. So they say, we are not singers. We are chanters and priests. So for them there is some difference. So what to do? How can we solve this? I think we can wrestle with this question by examining Samaveda traditions more closely. This is difficult to study Samaveda. There are very few practitioners compared to Rig Veda and Yajurveda, very large traditions. Also, Samaveda favors sound, swara, over sense, over the words, right? And it has many meaningless sounds, as Fritz Stahl said, this idea of anartha, shabda. So it makes it very difficult. But the Kerala Vedic tradition, the Samavedic tradition in Kerala is very important for understanding the history of Samaveda. This is because we have rare shakas, rare branches, and texts. We have the Jaiminiya Shaka, very unusual in all of India. We have the Prachina Gautama Shaka, also very unusual in all of India. So Kerala Samaveda is a treasure. It's a gem, Ratnama. And we also have the surviving ritual traditions, the Shrauta traditions. And it gives us a chance to record and to document and to study Samaveda to understand this question. I have come here on this trip to see many friends and to attend the Somayaga at Alangalur, Mana. And I have so many connections and so many friends in the Nambudiri tradition. And I also want to pause to give a small dedication of this keynote to Totatil Mana, which has undergone a great tragedy in Panyal. And so I want to extend my condolences to Totam Krishna Nambudiri and to all the Samavedis in Panyal who are suffering right now. A great loss, a great tragedy. So, the Nambudiri Shrauta tradition is so important for understanding the history of Samaveda. I have attended my first Somayaga, Atiratra, in Panyal, 2012. I attended a second Somayaga, Atiratram, in Kodakara, 2013, Kaimukhi Yaga. And I'm looking forward to the next Agnishtoma in Alangalur. So, a few remarks about Stobha. Stobha means these sounds, as Stahl would say, meaningless sounds. But maybe there's no meaning on the surface. But perhaps there is a deeper meaning in these stobhas. Maybe so. And these sounds with no semantic meaning are shared by Samaveda and by Carnatic music with its ragas. Samaveda stotras, Carnatic ragas. And so I want to talk about one very small piece of the Samavedic ritual in the Soma sacrifice, where stobhas, sounds, swara, is very important. In fact, this stotra includes what may be the most famous stobha of all, that is the sacred syllable, Om. In fact, Om is also a Samaveda stobha. So the stotra is called the Bahishpavamana stotra. That means the outside pressing stotra for Soma. It's known also as the Anirukta Gayatra Sama. That is the unexpressed Anirukta Sama, based on the verses of the Rig Veda in the Gayatri meter. It's chanted by the Prastota and the Udgata on the pressing day of the Agnishtoma, day 5 or the 12th day of the Atiratra. And the Ritviks, the priests, are seated outside of the Yagashala in the northeast corner, right in front of the Chatwala pit. The Chatwala represents Aditya, the sun. And it begins with the Prastota chanting the Prastava, the prelude. This is the opening pada in the Gayatri meter, ending in Om. So, for example, and excuse me, I'm not a pundit, I'm not a reciter, but I'll simply read the verse. Sanapavasvasham Gavom. That's Rig Veda 9:11:3, addressing King Soma. Purify yourself, King Soma, as well-being for our cattle. Then the Udgata chants the Udgita. The Udgita is the most important part of the Bahishpavamana stotra. It's a very complicated method of performance, and here it's so useful to have the living Nambudiri tradition to understand this practice. It's primarily described in Jaiminiya texts, especially the Jaiminiya Upanishad Brahmana. Very important text, rediscovered in Panyal by Ashkopatpala, Kritstal, Kutukata Mamana, Itirevi, Nambudiri. Mamana, okay. So many people. In Nelikatamana, they found a very important manuscript of Jaiminiya Upanishad Brahmana. So the Udgata, Manasa, mentally, in his mind, he chants, Shamjanaya Shamarvate Shamrajan Oshadi Biha. Purify yourself as well-being for our people, for our horse, for our plants, O King. But out loud, audibly, he chants something different. It's a very difficult practice. Mentally, he's chanting the Rik, but vocally, audibly, he's chanting Stobhas. No meaning on the surface, but a deeper meaning inside. Ova, 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 humbha, ova. This is the Udgita. So, what is the interpretation? What can this mean? We don't know. But the Jaiminiya Upanishad Brahmana can tell us this. Yes. The words of the verse mentally are expressed, nirukta. When he substitutes